Hi, Jonathan Ginsberg here, and I'd like to answer the question I get from people sometimes: how fast can I get my bankruptcy started? Unfortunately, there are situations where you may be blindsided by something. For example, you didn't know that you maybe have gotten sued but didn't realize that service had been made, that a judgment had been issued, and you get a call one day from your payroll office that your wages are being garnished. Or somebody forgot to pay the car note and you got a repo guy looking for you, and you've got an emergency situation, you need to get this case filed ASAP. Now, we can do emergency filings. One of the things about the Bankruptcy Code is that it allows us to do what is called a two-page emergency filing. And what that means is that instead of filling out all the bankruptcy forms, the 40 or 50 pages of forms in a typical petition, we can actually get you a case number just by filing a couple of pages and a list of creditors, and that will get us a case number that will cause the automatic stay to go into effect. Not ideal, because again, there are situations where sometimes when we go through all the paperwork, we discover that there may have been a reason not to file bankruptcy. But if you have a true emergency, we decide it's appropriate, you can file right away. What you need in that situation is your credit counseling certificate, which again may take you a couple days to get. So that's something you've got to be careful about. It's best to file with PAYSTUBS. You've got to have 6 weeks of pay advices when you file. I typically like to do the means test analysis before I file any case, but certainly you have to have the PAYSTUBS when you file, and then the names of the creditors, and that will get the automatic stay into a place. Then you've got basically 15 days to get the rest of the paperwork in. So I'm not a big fan of the two-page emergencies, but I've done them when there's truly an emergency. We've got to do something to get a vehicle back or to stop a foreclosure, that sort of thing. So in situations where you have a true emergency and you call me, I can usually get you in within a couple hours. So that by the next day we can get that emergency case done and get the automatic stay protection done right away. So in an emergency situation, I can meet with you right away. Otherwise, I would tell you that it normally takes, when somebody calls me and I tell them what they're going to need to fill out the questionnaire and so forth, you should plan on 3 or 4 or 5 days to get everything you need together. Bankruptcy has become very, very paper intensive. So in a non-emergency setting, and you want to do everything, cross every T, dot every I, you're going to need to fill out my questionnaire, which is the long form questionnaire, which is 30-something pages. I'm going to need credit reports, which I would tell you to get from annualcreditreport.com. You need your credit counseling certificate. You need copies of all your pay stubs, really for 6 months preceding the current month, or really I tell people 7 months, and any other creditor names and addresses that may be missing from the credit report. You need to have that in front of me. Then we need to meet and go through it all, make some decisions about whether or not bankruptcy is appropriate at all. If so, which chapter is the most appropriate. Then I'm going to need to get all that stuff into the computer, generate a draft petition. Typically we either meet again or we do so a couple hours later, go through all that. And really I like to go through every single page of the petition to make sure it's correct and accurate, and then we get it filed. So in a non-emergency setting, I would say you should assume it's going to take 4 or 5 days at least to get everything together. In an emergency, again, we can do it within a matter of hours. But don't assume bankruptcy is this just quick and dirty process. You don't have to do anything. There's a lot of work involved for you as the debtor. We have to do a lot of stuff, but the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. The more information we have, the better the information is, the better the results are going to be for you. And it certainly beats adding things later, because when you have to start adding creditors later or making changes, that costs money sometimes. There's filing fees for those sort of things, and it just makes the case look a lot sloppier. So better to do it right the first time. So I hope that answers the question of how fast can you meet with me. Certainly we're happy to do so. Give us a call, look at the number on the site here, drop me an email using the form over here, and I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you soon if you need to file bankruptcy. Thanks.